Hello, Cat Damon. He just came in and touched me with his butt. That's what cats do.
Quarantine violation.
Yeah. Social distance, asshole. I feel like that was the intro.
You got it.
So what's up, guys? What's going on here? River Sullivan coming at you right here, right now, live and pre-recorded for your listening pleasure. And even your viewing pleasure if you're watching us here and not really watching us, but just staring at the BS fireplace right there on YouTube. I am River Sullivan, and this is another episode of This Evening Tonight. Joining here with me yet again for Season 2 of the 16th episode of said season. The Silver Fox of Sultry Coffee. You know him. You love him. You just want to touch his hair because it looks so soft. My friend and co-host.
I need a haircut so bad right
Yeah.
now. It's painful.
How long's it been?
I don't know.
It's
It's been so long.
It's
I've
blurred
lost
together.
track. I mean, I'm used to once a week, and it's been, 3-4 weeks now? I got one the day before all the non-essential businesses were closed.
Just, you've got to cherish it. Let's see, there's
It's gone. Long
compilations right now going up of people that have cut their hair, like
Mhm.
themselves, or had their spouse or significant other do it. And yeah, there's not a lot of gifted people out there when it comes to using some trimmers.
No, I'm getting pretty desperate. I have YouTubed a video or two.
I can fade you up.
And I'm debating on whether I want to trust her with the clippers or not. You can do a fade? Nah.
I mean, I was in the Air Force, yes, but I do know how to do a fade.
You know, it's sad as I almost trust you more with clippers than I would her, because
Just
I know
let-
she's never done it before.
You let me get a couple scotches in me, and it'll steady the old hands. You know, got the surgeon shakes.
But see, I don't care. Like, the worst that could happen is you have to shave it bald, and
Mhm.
I've done that before.
But speaking of scotch, let's talk about this week's coffee we're drinking. This week we're drinking
What a segue.
Lavazza Cafe Espresso. It's an espresso Italiano 100% Arabica bean blend from Central and South America with highly aromatic tones. I do concur with the description of it. It does have a delicious flavor. And let me get one more long sip. Long, rich-bodied fullness. The long roasted coffee bean gives it that distinctive Italian espresso taste. Yeah, we will include a link to the description for this week's coffee, as we do with every week here. You can find them out on lavazza.us/en and whatever. I don't know, just Google it. It's Lava, Lava, Zza, 2 Z's, an A. And then internet. Moving on.
It also comes in brick form.
It does. Oh.
It's that kind of coffee.
It
yeah.
comes in a Cafe Bustelo key.
Mhm. Which do you prefer? How you feeling about it? How it stacks up?
I have to
against-
say I like this Lavazza better than Bustelo.
I don't know. I kind of forget what it tastes like already, but I'm thinking I might go with the Bustelo.
Bustelo had this has more of a nuttier. There's some nuttiness to it, and the Bustelo had kind of a.
You like it, do you?
I love the nuttiness. I love a good nutty coffee. No, but no, the Bustelo had like a. I won't say burnt. It wasn't burnt, but it was like a char to it or something. It might have been the amounts in which we did it in the French press. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely went a little easier on this.
I like this. All right. The date, April 15th, 2020. It is time yet again for our week behind coronavirus update. We are currently sitting at 2,023,663 total confirmed cases, with total deaths ranking up at 132,276. Total people right now that have been tested in the U.S., Johns Hopkins has created a new format here for their little algorithm and counter and whatever you want to call it. Total tested in the U.S. is 3,138,413. Now, 2,023,663 total worldwide cases. It is slowing down. because we hit 2 million 3 days ago. And for the world to only jump 23,000 when you had countries that were jumping that in a day, one of two things is happening. Like it's starting to work. And we're flattening the curve, or the U.S., we're pretty much the only ones testing, and everybody else is just kind of letting it go. But real quick here, so the U.S. does account for 613,187 total confirmed cases, with 27,085 deaths. Now, if you guys go to the Johns Hopkins University Medicine Coronavirus Resource Center, I'll include a link to this also in the description below. They now have a U.S. map version, which the thing I liked about this, when you click on it, I was showing Scott this earlier, when you click on it, you can actually zoom into the map, click on individual counties. So us here in West Virginia, I was able to pull up, you just zoom in, click on it, and then it offers you a detailed report that breaks everything down for you. Like I just pulled up Preston County, West Virginia, 6 total cases, and it pulls up the mortality rate, the population, total population, poverty percentage, how many ICU beds the county has, how many licensed beds the county has, how many staffed beds it has. So we had 6 cases in Preston County. There have been 0 deaths. The population above 65 is 6,346, 33,839 total in just this county, with a 16.2% poverty percentage. This county is a little bit underfunded because they only have 4 ICU beds, 25 licensed beds, and 25 staff beds. I'm going to guess that's probably Preston Memorial Hospital.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that. I mean, if you think about the proximity to other healthcare facilities.
Well, I heard that place is like, I heard Preston Memorial's coming up a little bit, but
yeah.
And that's all then for your numbers, and let's try to get out of the numbers game. Hopefully we won't be having to do this too much longer. Like I said, it looks like overall the curve is starting to flatten. And let's hope against hope that I don't care how it's happening, it's going down. That's all I want. I want to be able to walk outside and not have to wear a damn GD mask.
You can now.
Huh?
You can now.
Why?
Because it's America.
Is it?
Not looking like it these days.
I know you came in and you weren't feeling 100% about this, so.
I'm just disappointed in Americans.
Yeah.
I just really am. And, I'm also guilty of buying in a little bit of the panic in the beginning, and not to make light of the pandemic, but is it really as bad as what they're telling us?
I mean, the numbers are saying it's nowhere near as bad as they're telling us. 98, 99% survivability rate overall. I mean,
but just the general way and the way everybody panicked and the way everybody just happily went along with everything.
Yeah. I guess my old lady's mom called her yesterday or the day before and said, you need to go out and you need to get bulk pet food, get bulk meat, get bulk everything, because it's all about to run out. And they're like, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was reading yesterday, our supply chain is heavily strained right now. Like the truckers are speaking out on it, going, look, we are running like crazy. Like I said, they're running like dogs.
That's believable.
But
it's too late. Like if you didn't have that stuff stockpiled before, like you probably should have.
Fuck off, cat. Sorry.
Like you should have had that stuff stockpiled to begin with. You should always prepare for any emergency. But it's too late now,
Yeah, no, my issue was the truckers are speaking out because they have pretty much no PPE. Like they're like all these trucking companies are going, nobody gave us masks. We don't have any masks because all the dumbasses bought them out.
Taking precautions is one thing, and I understand that. But like I said, just a general panic and the distrust we have of one another now. Like everybody's going around spreading it intentionally. You just go to the store and, I don't wear a mask. Like, yeah, is that the right thing to do? Probably not, but.
I'm wearing like the surgical mask that we were issued for work, just for the same aspect.
But see, here's where I stand on that. Like I wear it all day at work. My time's my time. If I want to take that chance, that's fine. It's a risk of being an American,
Yeah.
But everybody just looks at you with suspicion, even if you have one.
Look, man, I went running in that thing the other day.
Oh, I did it at work. It is not fun.
That took me back.
Did it get moist to the point where it was like sucking against your face?
It wasn't the moisture didn't bother me. The pressure of it on my face reminded me of wearing the old NBC mask. We had the MCU 2AP ones.
Yeah.
And God, you ever got to spend more than an hour in that, and it's a nightmare. God forbid you had to PT in it, and we did that before because somebody wanted to be an asshole.
That's fun. Uniform drills.
Oh God. But yeah, I mean, I felt it, and I ran a mile with that mask on. I got to like the last 10th of it though, and had to strip it off because I was just, oh God, like it wasn't shortness of breath. It wasn't suffocating me. It was just that the hot, stagnant air that thing holds. But I just wanted to see if I still had it in me to do it, and I was like, you do this long enough, and you'll get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting used to wearing a mask again at work.
I don't know. The whole thing's stupid, I think. My brain's hurting right now thinking about it.
We'll tell you what, let's take a little bit of a break from that, enjoy a little bit more of this coffee, and really talk about, there's a couple things out there, because I'm all about trying to get the positivity back into this show. I don't want to grow stagnant with the negativity. So we're gonna steer it. I'm gonna attempt to steer it. I'm certain we'll probably double back to the COVID cul-de-sac.
See, that's the bad thing, is like, I don't want to talk about it, but like,
we have to.
There's like nothing else going on right now.
Because everybody's worried. Hey, did you get your stimulus yet?
I don't know. I think so.
I didn't.
I was told by my better half that it was pending, but I mean, not really have anything in mind that I'm going to spend it on. So,
dude, my hair gets much longer. Like, it's going to start looking like a Karen. Oh no, I kind of was a Karen last night because the old lady got home.
Made you runny eggs.
No, she got bored, and I was bored. She was like running her hands through my hair. She's like, "Can I straighten your hair?"
Oh God!
I was like, "What?" She's like, "I want to see how long it is." And she straightened it, and she's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Go look in the mirror." I go running into the bathroom, and she combed it over, parted it, and then had this coming down. I looked like Gary Busey. Like, it was just like, it looked like two crows' wings. Like, it was a nightmare. And then I threw water in it to try to fix it and then comb it back. And it did like this perfect shell thing just with water. And I looked like Steven Seagal. I took my glasses off and was like squinting, walking around the house. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You don't ever talk to Steven Seagal that way." I was like, "You ain't got the balls to pepper spray me." It's like, "What are you talking about?" "I am Steven Seagal." And I just like was Hapkido, knife hand, stalking through the house for the better half of an hour last night. Yeah.
Good times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Only in quarantine.
Only in quarantine. Even though we can't, because we're just those big E's, those big essentials, just essentializing it up. God, I pray to go into quarantine.
Right.
Look, I feel bad for everybody that's in the stay-at-home orders, and they're labeled as non-essential, and they're stuck, and like their income and everything that is suffering because of it. I do feel bad for that. But goddamn, like when you are labeled as essential, for the non-essentials to understand, yes, we are still getting paid to do our jobs, but the amount of stress that's put on you and your families because of that, like you talk to any of the EMTs or the doctors and nurses out there, the truckers, all of the first responders, everybody labeled as essential. Even the people that, like, hell, it's like Dunkin' Donuts, like, yeah, they're essential because they're providing a food service. You know, even them, like.
I heard a dirty little rumor that they had to forcefully, or actually not forcefully, but force like the GameStops to close because they were considering themselves essential because of live streamers.
Look, man, all the other sports are gone. Like they're done.
No, I'm talking like what you used to do when you had your channel. Like some people actually.
No, that's what I'm saying. Sports is done. The only sport out there is the only thing that's going to keep people entertained, and that's the e-sport. That's live streaming services. That's gaming tournaments and championships. So that's a good segue right there. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about that has been saving people's sanity. You saw it when you walked in. I just downloaded last night Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Oh my God.
Looks good. Looks real good.
graphics aside, and graphically, it's probably one of the best looking games to date that I've seen for something of its genre. Like, you can't really nail realism when everybody's kind of anime looking anyway, but the backgrounds and everything, the atmosphere is very good looking.
It's like Square Enix realistic.
Yeah, yeah. What was weird, if you've ever followed like Final Fantasy, like especially 7, they had that movie a few years ago that was Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children.
Right.
And it was a CG movie. The movie is pretty much identical to how the game looks and plays, except there's little numbers flying around when you hit shit. I have never played a Final Fantasy that had removed the turn-based. The last one I'd played was Final Fantasy X for like PlayStation 2. And so with those turn-based ones, you actually had time to think and do stuff. This one, it runs in real time until you hit like a hot button to look about using a spell or a potion or an ability or an attack, and it slows it down to like a snail's pace. Like the game, like the combat's still running, but it's so slow that I thought I'd paused it, and I was texting somebody, and I looked up and I just see my guy like, like he got hit and went, oh shit. But it's so good.
It looks good.
I think I'm on like chapter 4 or something. I just got done with that motorcycle. I've only been playing it for a few hours, but oh my God,
So you haven't even got out of the city yet?
No. Well, here's the thing. This game apparently doesn't leave Midgar.
Really?
This is just because the original PlayStation 1 Final Fantasy 7 was like 4 discs or something like that. It was huge.
Oh, it was.
It was multiple discs.
Yeah.
But it was also that generation of games, and that was on a DVD. Like, that was a lot of information, even for DVDs. And that was just with like their semi-pixelated polygon-style art and the technology of the day. Now, seeing how good that game looks, it's impossible. Like, I downloaded that. It's over 100 gigs. Like, it's a massive file. So their plan is, from what I'm told, Square Enix is going to continue to release Final Fantasy VII in these multiple releases because that game was so huge. When it was like 20-some years ago, Final Fantasy VII came out. They spent back then, it was like 21 or 22 years ago, they spent back then like $7.5 million just on the story, just on the writing of the story. Not on the music, not on the art, not on the game levels and design. Just the story itself was over $7 million. And to put that in perspective, not too many years ago, we just had Destiny that was released that Bungie made, that they were responsible for the Halo franchise. They committed their entire company and $50 million for like 5 years to make Destiny, which is nowhere near the scale that Final Fantasy VII was.
Be awesome if Bethesda did that.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. Fallout Wastelanders. I just looked. I still have my 76 disc. So Fallout Wastelanders just dropped yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much supposed to be Fallout 76 with NPCs. And it was supposed to be the live, living, breathing West Virginia world.
Correct.
That was 76. And you played it. I have not.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that it was coming out and it was like, I don't know.
You don't have to pay extra for it. Like I didn't.
I don't know if I want to designate hard drive space to that game.
I ain't mad at you for that.
So you got into it, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so to put it in perspective, I remember first playing it. And after about the first hour of you going, oh, look, it's kind of cool. You can go over there, play a banjo. And then you go, this world is it's a husk. There's nothing in it. There's no NPCs. There's holotapes for missions, and the enemies respawn at a stupid amount of rate that you can clear through an area, come back, and before you're even done with the mission, people are just respawning on top of you trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So that was my experience. And I said, you know what? I'm out. So now, asking you, having gone in to the new West by godforsaken Virginia of Fallout 76, how are you feeling? Describe it to me. I'm going to put some music to this. I want you to paint me a beautiful picture with the English language.
I don't think I can. I mean, it's okay. And like I'll caveat that with I play the game a lot of times just purely for nostalgic reasons, just because it's, the map, the theme, the West Virginia, I don't know. just for that, purely that reason, and just because I'm a big Fallout fan. I like the nostalgia of, the Pip-Boy and, the Nuka-Cola, that kind of thing.
Did they add any of the music to it that they were supposed to?
Yes.
Did they put some bluegrass in the Pip-Boy?
I haven't actually listened to the radio much, but it seems like the background soundtrack sounds a lot more like Fallout 4 now. That generic.
Yeah, I don't want to set the world.
No, not the radio station, but like when you turn the radio off and it's somewhat of like atmospheric music.
Yeah, but see, that's God.
Which can be very.
Bethesda, you're fucking up still. I just feel like they're still fucking up.
No, it's good content, and it makes the game better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it makes it that much better to make it worth someone that doesn't have it now buying.
Yeah.
Like I played it just because
how's
it's free.
Fallout First working? They still doing that?
I don't know what that is.
You never heard of Fallout First?
Uh-uh.
It was a thing that they were trying to release to give people. Actually, let me pull it up because oh my God, it was such a shit show.
I mean, it does have the feel of an old Fallout game now that can be multiplayer.
So Fallout First is a premium membership that enhances the Fallout 76 experience. Members receive access to private worlds. You can get a private server now. Exclusive utility and cosmetic items, 1,650 atoms a month, so that's $16.50, plus other bonuses. Okay? Well, the best one, somebody found out that it was coming, that this Fallout First thing was happening. Somebody bought the rights to falloutfirst.com. So when you pull up the website, it says Fallout, fuck you first. First member fucked.
Very nice.
So this guy what's included behind the Fallout, fuck you first paywall? Private worlds, playing at private worlds, exclusive for you and up to 7 friends, a scrap box, a sleeping bag survival tent, ranger armor. So, private worlds. The shitty community has been begging for the ability to play alone in private worlds since the launch of Fallout 76. Like what a Fallout game should be. We begrudgingly announce that they are coming into the game with Fallout Fuck You First. If you're a Fallout Fuck You First slave, how you use your private world is completely up to you as long as we allow it. Invite 7 of your non-existent friends at a time, 8 total per private world to join, while we screw you over with our pay-to-win system. Or completely solo. We know you like it that way anyway. All gameplay remains the same from the adventure cuckold mode, and all characters entering the Fallout Fuck You First private worlds must be existing characters. Only the dumbass who bought this membership who owns the private world is required to be a Fallout Fuck You First slave. Head into your private world, open your social menu, and once you're inside our buggy beta version of a game, and start inviting your friends to kick off the ass pounding. You can also create a squad outside of your private world and then switch to it to bring everyone along at once, because everyone will do that. Should the idiot owner of the private world leave, the world will still stay active as long as one other dumb fuck player in the world is a Fallout Fuck You First slave. Like, this is all true stuff, but this guy's just berated the hell out of Bethesda for this.
I don't blame him. Like, yeah, I did see that, but I'm not paying for anything. Other than, like, when I initially bought the game, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. Now, Bethesda did have a saving grace. Not from Fallout 76. Doom Eternal released as well, like a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that Bethesda, they need to be on their hands and knees. I believe id Software helped them out with that. They need to be on their hands and knees, thanking them or gobbling down their mouth, whatever it is that they want them to put into that.
So it sounds like they put all their resources on that and not Fallout 76.
Well, Bethesda, the game wasn't completely developed by the time 76 came out, but they saw how this was being received, so they were like, all hands on deck. This has to be good, or this company will be gone. Bethesda, that would have been their... Fallout 76 was like Bethesda's suicide note. If Bethesda had screwed up Doom, this would have been them just throwing the noose around their own neck. They saw the writing on the wall. They saw all the reviews that came out for 76.
Like, I just don't know what they were thinking. Like, I'm still of the mindset that, I don't hate the game. It's just not what they advertise it as.
It was the hype train.
Like if they'd have like just released it as, and waited till they got the NPCs in it, the content that they have now, before they released it, and was like, hey, here's a online version of Fallout you can play. No big deal, whatever.
Yeah.
It'd have been all right. It is what it is, but they hyped it so hard.
Yeah, it just works. It just works. That Howard guy, that I can't remember his front name, but
like we had two different experiences, I think.
16 times the detail.
Yeah, okay.
I saw light
it is
beams.
Exact same game.
I saw light beams coming through hills, like when the sun was setting. I'm like, that's solid rock. Why? Okay. And then you could watch the resolution just drop in real time. Like you'd be playing the game and just.
I had one of those moments last night. Even still, like I fell into a rock and got killed by a mole miner. And like I could do nothing but look around.
You're like, oh man.
I mean, I think you probably started playing it when it was still really, really buggy. And I know it still is, but I didn't come along, I don't think.
It wasn't terrible. Like it wasn't. I played it after the closed alpha and the open beta, and after its initial release, and then an entire 100 gig update because Bethesda does their updates weird. Instead of just patching the game with an individual update with code that's designed to go in, splice out the bad code, put the replacement code in there. Hello, Cat Damon. They pretty much reinstall the entire game over top the old one. So wherever the code lines up, it just overwrites it. And then it just lays in the existing place of like whatever they were trying to fix. New code lays atop it.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you have shitty internet, that's like, I thank God I have fiber optic internet up here. Was
like even without the NPCs, like when I first started playing it, like it was okay. Like I found enough of the world to be interesting, and it kind of made sense that nobody's around. But you just get to that point, and different people get there at a certain different times.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I've seen everything. We're done.
Yeah. And that's where I got to after like 2 hours. I was like, there's nobody here.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of trolls running around shooting you, even though it doesn't really do much damage, but they just annoy the shit out of you. Yeah, like I remember the trolls would come through there, these other douchebag players, and they'd aggro all the enemies, bring them to you, and then run off.
See, I never encountered it. Like only like 1 or 2 times that I have anybody ever attack me. Like, I kept myself busy with like the missions and the content and the main quest line, but like I said, you get to that point and you're like, I've done everything. And that's kind of where this content picks up.
Yeah.
Is like the premise is it's a year after Reclamation Day.
Yeah.
So
man. So there's only a couple games out there that have really been kind of keeping people busy. The Last of Us 2, which I was looking forward to, was supposed to be out last month and then got pushed to this month, has now been held off indefinitely, which is huge because Naughty Dog, the company that makes The Last of Us, they also made a lot of games. Like they were responsible for like the Ratchet and Clank series, Spyro the Dragon. They're hands down, in my opinion, one of pretty much the best gaming company out there, the game developers and producers, because they don't get rushed and throw shit out. They don't release an unreleasable title like so many companies do. They go, it's not ready yet. This is how long it's going to take, and that's how long that usually takes them. If they have to push back, I know the quality of games that they release. So if they tell me we got to push it back, I'm going to be like, you take your time, Naughty Dog. I'm in no hurry because everything that they've released for like the last several years has just been a masterpiece. Never had any issues with any of their games because they're so good, because the plots are so good and the graphics are good and just the adventures that they're great titles. So I'm still a little sad about that. Now, the other thing for the non-gamers that are self-quarantined or sheltered in place and staying at home, and even us essentials, there was one thing that is just taken everybody's mind off this virus. The Tiger King. Which you were supposed to watch.
I don't remember having this conversation.
You need to watch this.
I feel like I don't.
No, you do. So I was sitting with the old lady, and we were going through the Netflix and saw the preview for it, and I was like, this looks stupid. And everybody else I heard, they're going, you trust me. We all thought the same thing. You need to watch it. So me and her, we sat there and watched the first episode, and just was, oh my God. I hate the fact that I have to keep watching this, but there was a lot of people go, it's just reality TV. No, it's not. It was a documentary based on this guy, Joe Exotic, that was supposed to have a reality show recorded about him, but before they could wrap it up, a lot of shit happened, and then he's now in federal prison for murder for hire plot. Okay?
All right.
So you have Joe Exotic. There's pretty much 3, I guess, main characters, if you want to call them that. It's just like a rallying group of like broken villains. It's like these broken video game characters / super villains that it's like, this is where they're at in retirement because these people are so effing crazy. Joe Exotic he's gay. He has 2 husbands. He wears like leather pants with bedazzled handcuffs and carries a 6-gun on his hip. And sometimes he wears a preacher outfit, and he's ran for president back in 2016. And he's like, I'm Joe Exotic. I'm queerer than a $3 bill, and I'm running to be your president. Like, he's got his tigers just walking around in the background. Like, it's insane. He's got a solid gold mullet and then like handlebar mustache. And he has a zoo of all these tigers and bears and monkeys and stuff like that. And there's a big conspiracy about him. Like, he breeds them because he makes a bunch of money off of them, which, okay, probably. And then there's a woman that's trying to shut him down by the name of Carol effing Baskin. All right. Carol Baskin is championed by PETA as like a hero for animals. But the shit that she says, like, I think it was the first episode where she's talking about her wildlife preserve. Not a zoo. It's a wildlife preserve. And then she says shit like, none of these animals deserve to live in cages until they die. But my animals here, they're going to live out their lives in these cages until they die.
In a slightly larger cage.
No, actually, her cages were tiny. Like a tiger was in a cage the size of this office, and then there was like a water bowl and a cat food bowl in another cage just big enough for the cat to get its head in and eat food out of. And then there's like, she has like a tiger graveyard of like this memorial thing where it's like 20-some plaques of all of her dead tigers that died completely of natural causes. But there's, well, Joe Exotic probably killed 3 or 5 of his own tigers. And then like at one point he goes, yeah. He's like, you got 2 options. You got to dart them, like, shoot him with a tranquilizer dart that'll kill him, or, syringe him, whatever. He just said, you got to dart him or shoot him. And when you watch this show, you're going to go, Joe Exotic does not have money for darts. He's just using one of his 50 fucking guns that he has, because he parades around with this winter camouflaged like M4 with a 50-round Surefire mag in the bottom of it. And he's always buying tannerite, just blowing shit up all over the place. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, he didn't have dart money and stuff like that. Like, he probably was shooting them and burying them because that's all he could do with it. Then you got this third guy. The hell was his name? Doc Antle, they call him. And his front name was like Bagravar or whatever, but he changed it. It's like a Hindu name, which translates to Lord. So he's like Dr. Lord Antle. And he looks like everything. Like, he looks like he should be hosting Dungeons and Dragons tournaments, like with another group of men around his same age. He's probably, I'd say, late 40s, early 50s, but he's got like this 3-foot-long white ponytail, a soul patch, wears a Crocodile Dundee hat, and wearing vests and cargo shorts. And that man runs like a cult. He says it's an entertainment zoo, but he's like, oh, this was Starfire. She came to me when she was 16, and she's been here for 20 years. And he gets all these girls super young. He's like a creepy, like was it Jack Hanna, the animal guy? He's like the R. Kelly of Jack Hanna. Like, it's just, I don't know how any of these other 2 people are not in prison. It's crazy. Because at some point he's got his bevy of women that they're all wearing like low cut shit to like entertain people, like sexy lady with a tiger, so it brings good business model. It brings people in, yeah. Boobs and wild animals is selling it. And then he takes all the girls out to go all get boob jobs done. Like, like he pays for it.
Weird.
And some of these women, they all he has like 5 wives or something. They all live in these nice houses. But then like the newer ones come in. They're like, I lived in this horse stable for a year and slept on the floor. And, yeah, and it's a cult because they're just trapped and they can't get out, even though they could just walk away. They just won't. It's insane. You gonna watch it?
I don't know, man.
You need to watch
I don't
it.
know if I need that in my life right now.
Trust me, you ain't gonna be thinking anything about the coronavirus if you watch this. It's only 7 episodes. Actually, it's 8. Because they didn't know the show was going to be such a big hit that they had to release something else to milk it a little bit more. And I guess it was interviews with a bunch of the staff. There's one girl there, got her arm completely bit off from the elbow down by a tiger. She was back to work 3 days later. I was like, holy shit.
All right. Just living her damn life.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
You just blew my mind with the Tiger King, or what is he called?
What, the Tiger King?
Yeah, Tiger King. Yeah, he just died. I can't even think right now.
Dude, there's one point, like, everybody's convinced that Carol Baskins killed her husband. She had a husband, it was like in the 70s, or no, it was like the 90s or 80s. And he went to Costa Rica and never came back. And they were doing an investigation. Like, the common conspiracy is that she fed him to the tigers or buried him under a septic tank on the property of their preserve. And then in an interview, she's sitting there for this show being interviewed. And anytime she says something weird, her eyeballs do like this crazy, like she starts blinking a bunch of times. But she was like, everybody knows if somebody was going to kill my husband, you don't put cologne on them. You cover you cover them up in something a tiger would like you cover their body in sardine oil. And then we just left it at that. I'm like, what?
All right.
I was like, are you kidding me? And then Joe Exotic and her are pretty much beefing throughout the whole thing. Like, he has his own Joe Exotic TV YouTube show, and he's sitting there with like a blow-up doll. He got Carol's name wrote on it. They shove a dildo in its mouth, and he's like, hey, Carol, this is what we're going to do. And he like blows the blow-up doll's head off with a magnum. Yeah.
This really sounds like a South Park character.
It's insane. Oh, I guarantee you South Park's going to do something with this. They have to.
I think it is.
Of course, I don't know if Trey Parker and Matt Stone could top it. Because, yeah, it feels like a live-action South Park show.
And you said she's championed by PETA.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows you that not everybody that champions a cause is squeaky clean.
Nobody that runs exotic animals apparently is either, because towards the end, when Joe's in prison, he's like, I'm going to start turning evidence over. I got receipts and everything and hard drives and tell you exactly who I sold all these animals to under the table. And they had a bunch of pins on a map. One of them was like Hovatter Zoo in Preston County. I was like, I've been there. I've given those giraffes carrots.
We as a society, I think, have become so susceptible to like anything we're told or anything we see on social media.
Back to the old spoon feeding.
Yeah. And just because someone champions a cause or someone virtue signals, I'm not doing this, or I'm living gluten-free, and I'm not poking fun of any of those causes or, going one way or the other with them, but there's always an agenda with people. People are flawed by nature.
Look, I'm telling you, just for the sake of killing time,
I will commit to watching one episode.
Then you're about to commit to watching 7 more after that, I guarantee you, because you're going to watch this first one and be like, aren't you on vacation this week?
Yeah, but I got to babysit.
Well, okay. So other than that, though, there's a couple other shows that you can probably hit up on Netflix that you won't be able to peel away from. Well, I think I've told you about the first one. It's called Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yeah.
It's about
I'm scared to watch that.
It's all about the first internet serial killer. Found out it was all true. I thought this was like a mockumentary or a docudrama or whatever they call them. And then the other one is Surviving R. Kelly.
No.
R. Kelly is, I'm telling you what, I never really cared too much about it, but I'm telling you this is, after watching that show, he is the closest thing I've ever seen to a real life supervillain. Like, straight up, man. I was like, the amount of control and power he had over all these women, it was insane.
I don't know if I need that in my life. See, when I watch TV, I'm purely an escapist.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to watch things that like liberate me from life. You know what I mean?
This
that are
will
gonna,
because you won't be able to think of anything.
yeah,
else.
but I don't want stuff that brings me down, though. You know,
It does.
that
It
scars
doesn't
me
bring
in
you
some
down.
way.
Like you're just like, holy crap! It just blows you away.
I'll check it out.
Okay.
Okay, don't do drugs. Drugs are
Drugs
bad.
bad. So I have a thought.
I'm sure you have many. Tell us your thoughts.
So I'm thinking we play around. Wow, AI Dungeon got an update.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fantasy.
Probably because of you.
No, I mean there's like 8 different options, but we'll try a custom one.
Sometimes I think you could probably make a podcast purely out of our AI dungeon sessions. Do you remember a time when the craziest reality TV was either the real world or the Osbournes?
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with people anymore. Stupidity.
All right, let's see. You are Joe Exotic, the Tiger King. You run a zoo for exotic animals. You come across Carol Baskin and, well, she's not what you expected.
We will pull our 6-gun from the holster, aim it at her, and say, "Your time is over, Carol." Carol. I feel like this one's going to end pretty quick. Maybe.
You pull out your revolver and say, "Your time is over, Carol." Carol looks at you with surprise and then shock as she says, "Oh no, I thought we were going to be together forever. I am not your husband anymore." Yes, within the first 2 lines, the AI is already confused.
I mean, but is it?
Is it? I don't know.
Because he did have 3 husbands, right?
He had 2. And both of them were not gay. He like turned them for money, and I don't know, it was weird. You have to watch it. Okay, I'm just going to process this, see what it does.
We make an entire story out of 2 entries.
Maybe.
Should start writing novels this way.
Look, I've told people, I said, if you want to do that, go to this and just, like, don't use it as a verbatim, but use it to give you ideas. What? What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I can't live like this anymore. It's killing me. My heart is breaking inside my chest. It isn't your fault, honey. It's just that things have changed.
Only this thing's learning.
I'm going to throw it for a loop. I asked, "Didn't you bury your husband under the septic tank?" She replies, "No, he was buried in his work. Oh, he had to keep up appearances on the outside so people would still pay attention to him. Now I have nothing left except a life of loneliness and sadness."
Are we about to solve a case using AI Dungeon?
Oh my God.
You could say, now your life is about to end unless you tell me the truth. Where's your husband buried?
Where is she? Well, tell me the truth. Tell me where your husband's buried, Carol. She says, "He's dead. In fact, he died yesterday when he fell off the roof of his house while trying to fix something." You sigh and look down at her body before saying, "Well, I guess you'll never know him now." You then turn around and walk away. The next day, after finishing your usual routine of feeding the lions and tigers, you hear a noise from above. Looking up, you see a man standing there holding a shotgun. The man has dark hair and wears glasses.
You draw down on him. Say, "Who are you?"
"Who are you?" you ask. "My name is Jack O'Lantern, and I own this farm. I don't want to die here with all these animals. Why should I let you leave if you won't help me kill one of them?" What? Process.
I was going to say, let all the tigers out of their cages.
If nothing happens, that's what we'll do. "Look, I'm not asking you to shoot them all. Just 1 or 2 will do." "One of them? Are you insane? If you really care about these poor creatures, why aren't you helping me kill them?" I release all the animals from their cages. "Fine, but I'm leaving right now." Jack pulls out his pistol and shoots the gate open. He walks into the barns and starts shooting everything in sight. Soon he runs out of bullets and falls to the ground with a bullet wound to his head.
Greatness.
Oh, wow.
Process.
Yeah.
Starting to notice a pattern. Like every story we do ends with somebody killing themselves.
You stand over him and look at his body. You think about how you wish you could take revenge on Jack for what he did to you. But then again, you already killed 3 men who tried to kill you last year. What? Who knows where Jack is now? Maybe he's dead. He is dead! He just killed himself! I'm gonna process this. Maybe you should go back home and get some rest. After all, you've got a lot of work to do today. I told it just to call the police. He's like, oh, all of his animals are dead, and then a guy just killed himself, and he's like, oh, maybe we should just go home and take a nap. So anyway, we call the police. They arrive shortly, and they tell you that you're lucky that the killer didn't escape. They also mention that there's been several other incidents of people getting shot by Jack lately. You wonder if it's because he's having problems with someone else. But Jack killed himself.
Or did he?
You say, but Jack killed himself. They reply, yes, but he's only been doing it less recently. He's been killing himself less recently. Last night he killed a guy named Bill who lived nearby, and a week before that he killed another guy named George. You feel sick and dizzy all at once and collapse on the floor. Let it process. You died of a heart attack. The end. It actually made me process that. Oh, AI Dungeon, you didn't fail to disappoint. We'll make sure we get a transcript of this sent over to the authorities. So now we know you're looking for a man named Jack, the guy that was killing...
Jack O'Lantern.
Jack O'Lantern killed all the tigers. We've solved the mystery. Joe will be soon released from prison.
But she's loving prison.
Oh, man, like, he does not like prison from what the documentary shows. He's like, I just want out. I just want out. I just want my tigers. Like, all right, guys. Well, all right, guys, it looks all right, guys, it looks like we're all out of time here for this evening tonight. I am... Fuck, God damn. Losing it.
I'm in your head.
Get out of my head. All right, guys, it looks like all the time we have here for this evening tonight. I was your host and still am, River Sullivan. And with me here yet again, my friend, the Silver Fox. Let's go.
Later.
All right, guys, don't forget all the other ways here that you can listen here. iHeart Radio, Stitcher, Spotify, Sounder, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and YouTube. We'll have all the links to all those other ones in the descriptions below. But until we see you next time, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. And peace out. Fucking vape.